Hello and welcome to another update video about Bonk. Bonk has seen a reaction to the previously communicated support area. Not only the area, but also specifically, I communicated in the last update that the first line of support is the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level here at 102253, as well as specifically pointed out the previous swing low. This red support line was specifically mentioned as next key structural level of support, and the market reacted to it after this, quite strong downtrend. It doesn't look that strong on the logarithmic chart, but I would always try to count the waves when we have a very, very volatile asset on the logarithmic chart. But it's also worth checking the actual percent decline, because that was more than 70%. Now, typically altcoins in their first wave 2, so we have 5 waves up, which actually doesn't look bad on this chart, okay? I have to say, yes, it's a meme coin, but it shows 5 waves up, so I don't care what kind of coin it is. If we have 5 up, it's worth watching for a low in a support region. Problem here on this chart is that the due to the extensions, the zone is huge, okay? Now, I typically would only start at the 38.2 retracement, but because we already dropped like 70%, I specifically added the 23.6 Fib level as well, because it could be that wave 2 is already in, right? It would be a very, very shallow wave 2. I mean, there isn't really a right or wrong about, okay, are you using the linear or the log chart? I showed you specifically in the last video that when we look at the linear chart, the price is already very deep in support, very deep. And therefore I highlighted, okay, maybe for this chart we need to use the linear chart, but then counting the waves up on the linear chart is an absolute mess. So we'd rather use log, and I added the 23.6 Fib level. But for now, I just assume that this is a slight disturbance in the overall downtrend, and I call that the B wave. Okay, I assume currently primarily that we will see a continuation of the decline in wave C, and wave C should ideally reach minimally the 38.2 retracement level at 47270. But I can specify a target further once we have a confirmed top in place for wave B. When is that the case? Well, it's really only confirmed the top in B once we see a break below the previous swing low, so the red line. And also, I mean, there's a warning before, so if the price breaks below the 78.6 retrace of the current rally, that's at 105594. That would already be a warning, but I would argue that the red support line is going to be strong, so we want to see that break first to confirm that a C wave is unfolding, and then we can specify the target better. Resistance is clearly defined between 188255 and 268503. Not reading all these zeros in front of the price because they're ridiculous. The B wave ideally should, if we get a nice B wave, it should show something like that. But that's just nice to have, okay? Sometimes these B waves in crypto, they are short and sweet, okay? And you don't get this nice 3-wave corrective structure that you ideally want to see in such a B wave. But yeah, that would be ideal, So far, I just assume an A wave bottomed. I don't have a very good micro count of this, but I assume wave A bottomed, not all of wave 2 yet. Wave B is unfolding now. Wave C is still to come. Levels are clear. Plenty of space left in the support area. I don't expect it to max it out. I think we are staying in the upper region. Yeah, and let's see how this develops. I think parameters are very clear. As soon as wave 2 is in, I think there could be the third wave should significantly send us higher, even though I have to admit that the third wave projections are completely unrealistic. So, highlighting that it might get to 0.0078 from a market cap point of view, it's a bit ridiculous. This is purely a projection at this point, and we'll see how far it goes. I mean, altcoins, especially meme coins, they break off, they fail often, so it's not reliable, but we need those projections to be able to calculate targets on the lower time frames later. For now, we'll just see if support is holding. And yeah, that's my update about Bonk. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.